I'm Richard Blake, Richie Breath Geek, as I'm starting to call myself for some reason, and I'm here with Tim Allen, who is the owner of UFloat, a flotation and biohacking centre in Wandsworth. Yeah, and so UFloat is pretty awesome. I've been there several times. They have floating, they have infrared saunas, they have big massage chairs, and this thing called the Ajna light, which we'll tell you a little bit more about in a little while. But firstly, Tim, welcome to this thing that we're doing right now. This
thank
video.
you for having me, Richie.
You're very welcome. So we've just done a breath session. I just breathed Tim. So Tim, how was your breath?
So I'm feeling super spaced out and super chilled at the moment. That was my first connected conscious breathwork session. I kind of knew going into it I'd find it quite tough. I've always been told that I'm quite a shallow breather, and I knew I was going to find the exhale quite tricky, but it was probably trickier even than I thought. But it was, at some point I went off, and feeling super relaxed now.
Great. Yeah, well, you did really well. He makes it sound hard, but everyone finds it a little bit difficult on the first time. But you certainly got something happened for you, didn't it?
Yes.
Certainly some emotional stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about that, but yeah.
No, definitely some emotional stuff, and there's definitely like a physical sensation to it.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So, like Tim has said, the breath work can really be used for emotional healing, physical healing, spiritual healing, and I think Tim got a couple of those things in his session. So, Tim, UFloat, tell us what you do there.
So UFloat is a wellness centre. We're all about relaxation and recovery. So initially I just wanted to have float tanks. I was really into floating myself, but then I came across the other treatments along the way. So as Richie said earlier, we've got a couple of infrared saunas as well, which have amazing health benefits. I think people are starting to fully realise now how good they are. And then we also have the Ajna lights, which is very difficult to describe. You've tried a session already?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
I did the breath work as well at the same time, and it was awesome together.
Yeah, so the Ajna light is kind of like binaural beats in light form, so you can like stimulate different brainwaves. I think the one you would have done would have gone through all of the different brainwaves, so you can see what it's capable of doing. But that's kind of what I used rather than doing breath work. That was my counselling for me.
Nice. Wow, so it can really be used not just to sort of see colours and things, but actually to heal emotions and things like that.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Can you tell us a little bit more about those health benefits of the infrared sauna?
Yeah, so it's got all the benefits of the normal sauna, great for like reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative diseases, but then because it's infrared, it's at lower temperature, so it's much safer, you can stay in for longer, and then it's great at detoxifying, pulling the toxins out for your body. Sorry, hello, sweaty.
That's alright. I did the infrared sauna and used a stack that I saw from the Biohacker's Handbook, where you take niacin and I can't remember what else I took. Niacin and a couple of other things, but I basically took way too much niacin and I got so itchy, so red. I was so anxious after it, and I reread the post after, and it said make sure you slow time release niacin, because
that must have been intense.
It was painful. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're gonna stack niacin with your saunas, get the slow release one. It's one of the worst 2 hours of my life. The saunas are great, but just make sure you don't use the...
Yeah, we've also got the red light edition coming for the infrared saunas in the next couple of weeks as well.
Oh, what's that? They're like a...
It's kind of like the thing you've got
Joovv.
over there.
Okay. Is it a Joovv or is it...
It's made by the sauna company, so it's able to deal with the heat from the sauna.
Oh, wow.
But then you'll be able to have the full spectrum infrareds and then the red light at the front as well.
So is that like... So that medium wave is sort of reducing inflammation, increasing collagen production, all that stuff. Awesome. I'd definitely like to check that out. And yours are clear light saunas as well, so nice and low EMF.
Yeah, that's why I chose them.
Good call.
Yes.
Good call.
Did my research.
Good man. And then floating. Tell us a little bit about floating and the benefits there.
So floating, it can be used for a number of different things. It's great for the mind, it's great for the body. So there's 500 kilograms of Epsom salt, 750 litres of water, so it's more buoyant than the Dead Sea. So it's from a physical perspective, if you've got any like muscle pains, any tension, it's like the best thing for that, just being free from gravity and being able to let your body be in its natural position. The main reason I got into it was more from like the mental health perspective. We all have phones, we all have computers, and if you live in London especially, it can be quite a lot, and we're always switched on, never really like taking time for ourselves as a general rule. So floating is the perfect environment to take time for yourself, to meditate, to think, to kind of do whatever you want to do. It's just a space free from sensory inputs. There's no lights, no sounds, and it really gives you a chance to go within. So a lot of people combine different breathwork techniques with the float just because it's that perfect environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually wrote an article about floating, and it's available at richardlblake.com. This was before your centre was open, actually. So I'm not going to mention your rivals, but what I found out there was how many celebrities and athletes like Wayne Rooney, Justin Bieber, John Lennon, Joe Rogan's now a huge proponent of it. There was an episode of The Simpsons where they float, absolutely fabulous as well. So it's been around for a while, and it's really starting to grow and kick in now. And I think I remember listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about full-on psychedelic experiences like ayahuasca or psilocybin mushrooms, magic mushrooms, that a lot of people are starting to wake up to the benefits of with mental health. And he was saying that float tank is probably the best intro point into that kind of space, into that ceremonial space where you're just with yourself. So if you did want to find out what all the buzz about was with ayahuasca and mushrooms and ceremonies like that, best thing to do first of all is float tanks, and it's great for integration for those things as well. So if you have already done an ayahuasca ceremony, then go float and try and integrate what you may have learnt from that session.
Can I just add one thing to that, Richie? Just if you are kind of like looking for that kind of experience, it's definitely possible like through floating, but I would say going with an open mind, because sometimes people will go in and they're like wanting to trip balls or wanting this thing to happen, and they're like, oh, nothing happens. So it's, as with all things, it's like accepting and being open. But often people that go in with no expectations at all, they just want to relax, they have often the people that are dragged there, they have like a very profound experience, deal with some childhood trauma, see some mad visions, different kind of things.
I think I remember them saying like it takes sort of at least 3 floats for you to really start using it, because it's just, and that's another tool for healing. Just like a guitar is a tool for making noise, you can use it to make beautiful, rock ballads, or you can just smash it up. But the more you use it, the better it is. Same with breathwork, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so we have a workshop coming up. UFloat have kindly offered to host Richie Breathgeek and NataliaOLcoaching.com for a workshop which we're going to have in UFloat in Wandsworth on Wednesday, the 1st of April, 7 to 9 p.m. So message me, DM me, slide in the DMs, or email me, richardlblake.com, richard.l.blake on Instagram. And how do we find UFloat?
UFloat, you can find us Instagram at UFloat, ufloat.com, and then physical location, we're based in the Battersea Reach development, which is just next to Wandsworth Bridge, Wandsworth Roundabout, so right by the river.
Great. And you have he's very kindly offered a discount code for you if you're following this. So
yes, so for all of Richard fans out there, we've got a little discount for you. So if you use the code Blake, BLAKE, that will give you 20% off single treatments at UFloat. That's for all 4 treatments for the float. There's infrared sauna, Ajna light, and the zero gravity massage chairs.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much, Tim.
And here are the details of that workshop again. It is Wednesday, the 1st of April, and we're going to be doing a 2-hour workshop at 7 to 9 p.m. and it's going to be £45. Message me at richard.l.blake on Instagram, or go to richardlblake.com, or email me at richard@richardlblake.com.